Greetings, I'm Bairnt and welcome to the One-Stop Co-op Shop. Today we're going to continue our playthrough of Kingdom Death Monster. We just got done taking down a level 3 antelope. Look at the resources. We have an absolute monstrous amount. Get it? Kingdom Death monstrous amount of resources. I'm a blast. All right, we're going to be moving into our settlement phase here. Sadly, only 2 of our characters made it back from the fight. We lost a couple, but we did gain some other things on top of these resources. We also destroyed down that man mask, giving us a skull, 6 organs, and 6 bones. So I've already wrote that on the settlement record sheet, so we have that ready to go along with all the resources we gathered from there. This is going to be a huge settlement event. I'm super excited for this one because we have so much stuff that we could possibly do with all these resources. The one thing I am concerned about is the fact that our population is slowly dwindling. So I think we have to work hard on hopefully bolstering that a little bit. Also, in our last settlement event, we also found out that we could actually take on the Watcher at any time. So if you think we're able to take it out at any time, go ahead and put it in the comments below, and I will go ahead and see if we think we're ready. If I get enough people saying, fight the Watcher, then I'll go ahead and take him on. Of course, it would probably come after a certain set of videos, but I know that at least you think I'm ready to do it, so that'll be a cue for me to continue forward and go into that showdown with the Watcher. If you're excited to see what this settlement phase has to hold and what we're going to be hunting, then I need you to meet me at the co-op shop. Before we begin the settlement phase, there are a couple things I do need to finish from the hunt phase. Of course, our hunt XP is one of them. I always do it during the settlement phase just because it's easier, because the hunts usually tend to be a little bit longer. So I've gone ahead and given Morel her 2 experience, and I've also given Firndan his 2 experience. Remember, he had to change his name, which is kind of funny. Now, of course, both of these people are going to go into their first age event, which means they're going to be able to grab a weapon proficiency, and they get to roll on that table. We're going to go ahead and roll for Morel first and see what she gets. She got a 4. And then we're going to roll for our other character as well and see what he gets. He got a 12. 4 is +1 to strength, so we're going to go ahead and give her a strength. And then 12 is a random fighting art. So we're going to go ahead and mix up our fighting arts here. Give them a good old truffle shuffle and see which one pops up first. We'll go ahead and grab this one. We have found Unconscious Fighter. It takes 7 bleeding tokens to kill you. Wow, that's absolutely awesome. All right, so that's what he has. But she, of course, didn't get a fighting art, and I'm going to tell you right now, she's pretty worthless until we get rid of this Fear of the Dark. She is not allowed to go on any more hunts because she won't ever leave the Lantern Settlement. And since she's a hoarder, she is going to take one of our things that we have come home with. I'm just going to go ahead and give her, I don't know, one of these crab spiders, I guess. Well, actually, a crab spider is not too bad. Maybe a fresh acanthus? Yeah, we're going to go ahead and get rid of the crab spider. That's totally fine. Crab spider is going to be archived because she's going to take it. Now, of course, when she does that, she also gains +1 courage for doing that according to our disorder for herder. With that taken care of, we're going to go ahead and move into the rest of the settlement phase now. We've set everything up and we have our returning survivors. We're going to go ahead and gain our endeavors. So we're going to gain 2 endeavors for every person that died during the showdown or hunt event, which is 2 of us. Then I'm also going to get 1 for each of the people that actually came back. And then I have a cooking innovation, so we're going to gain 1 from that. With that completed, we're going to go ahead and update the timeline, draw a settlement event card, resolve it, and trigger any story or settlement events that happened this year on the timeline. Lucky for us, nothing is happening except we're going to be drawing a settlement event card, and that is it. Next thing to do is draw our settlement event card. So we're going to go ahead and give these, like I said, a truffle shuffle here and see which one we get. We're going to mix them all up here and hopefully get something we haven't seen. There's a whole ton of cards in here, and I am guessing we haven't seen all of them. So let's see what this one says. This says Dark Dentist. I think we've seen this one. A cloaked woman enters the settlement. All that can be seen beneath her hood is a sparkle of perfect teeth. She offers to improve the survivors if they are brave enough. I can mend bones. She can fix the shattered jaw. I don't think I have anybody with that. Monster tooth dentures. The woman upgrades your mouth to gain +1 permanent strength once per lifetime. I don't know about that. Gain the following ability. Metal maw. Your fist and tooth gain sharp. Highly doubt that's going to happen either. But of course, before the dentist does anything, you have to roll on this evil table of dentist death. So I don't think we're using anything from the Dark Dentist. Oh, okay, we're going to put that up here. I think we've seen that one. If we haven't, that was pretty cool. I don't think we're going to be doing anything with the dentist. We're going to go ahead and move into the next part of our thing, which is going to be updating our death count. And sure enough, we lost 2 people. So we're going to go ahead and mark 2 right there. And we're going to continue on. Check for milestones. That ain't happening. So we're going to go ahead and develop. Oh man, this is going to be an absolute huge, monstrous development phase. I'm super excited. Not only do we have a lot of resources, but we have an absolute huge amount of these too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7. Oh, I can visually remember it because we're in the 7 development. We have 7 of these endeavors. So let's go ahead and figure out what we want to do. As always, the first thing we want to do is remove an endeavor, and we want to go ahead and innovate. So we're going to go ahead and get rid of just a regular monster bone, a regular monster hide, and a regular monster organ. There's got to be one in here. Monster organ. There we go. We're going to get rid of those. I'm going to put these aside because there's going to be a lot of other stuff I bet we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and innovate. So we're going to go ahead and take our deck of cards here, which isn't too many. I'm going to shuffle them up here and take 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's only 3 we haven't seen. Let's see what we've got from our stack of cards here. We got sculpture. I think we've seen all these before. This is the one, of course, I can create a sculpture of a fighting art if I wish to, and I can potentially gain that fighting art. Next, we have forbidden dance. When a survivor uses synchronized strike, secret fighting art, reroll missed attack rolls once. I can also suffer -1 permanent movement, gain a permanent evasion, or gain the king steps secret fighting art, which would be awesome. Let's see what this one is. This is sacrifice. This is the one where we could sacrifice a person, or multiple people, it looks like, and have different things happen. All right. And then the last one is partnership. I can nominate 2 survivors. They pair off, and each gains a partner ability. I don't have enough for that. I think what we're going to do is we are going to take the forbidden dance. I want to get this because it adds more to our settlement here. Forbidden dance consequences get added to the innovation deck. So we're going to go ahead and put that up there with the rest of our innovations. We're going to put these back here, and we're going to add the forbidden dance consequences to the innovation deck, and we're going to be able to move on. All right, there we go. Next, I think we're going to go ahead and see what we can do with our innovations and also with some of our awesome settlement locations. The first one we're going to do is scrap smelting. I can go ahead and attempt to make some iron with this. So I have to spend an endeavor, and then we're going to go ahead and roll a die and see what we get. We got a 9, which is perfect. I've got 2 broken lanterns right here, and our settlement itself has a stored broken lantern. So it says spend 3 scrap and add 1 iron to your storage. So that's awesome. We now have an extra iron. I've gone ahead and erased our broken lantern, put our iron up here, so we now have 2 of them in our storage. We also have those 6 organs, a question mark, 6 bones, a tail feather, a flat tooth, a nightmare tick, spiral horn, and also a black lichen. We also have another black lichen we got this time too. And we also have another iron that we brought back with us, so we actually have 3 iron. I'm pretty pumped for that. The next endeavor I want to try is our face painting. So I'm going to go ahead and use an endeavor. We're going to roll our die and attempt to get some battle paint again. We got a lantern 10, so that means all of our survivors are going to gain +2 survival, and they're also going to gain +1 insanity when they depart, so that's really good. Then, of course, we're going to do our shrine again. We're going to go ahead and spend an endeavor, and we're going to roll up our shrine to 4 or better. I got a 1, so we're going to go ahead and use it again. And of course, look at this. I'm already running out of endeavors, and I haven't even started our population yet. Okay, we got a 7. So all of our departing survivors are going to gain an extra 1 to armor to all of their hit locations. So that's really good too. That leaves me with 2 to augur with, and I think I'm just going to go ahead and do that right now. We have to choose a person to augur with. I'm going to go ahead and choose Huma. Huma's going to be the one that augurs. He's going to go ahead and use this endeavor, and he's going to use his understanding to get +1 to this roll. And he got a 7 + 1 is 8. So that's enough to go ahead and perform an intimacy event. And now I'm going to use this next endeavor to go ahead and not augur. I'm sure everybody thought I was about to make a big mistake. For those of you that are keeping score, I was about to make a huge mistake. If I would have augured with this I need in order to make leather. If I don't make leather, there's a lot of things we can't make, and I've got so many resources. So instead, we're going to go ahead and roll 2 dice in our intimacy event and see what happens. We got a 10 and a 1. The 1 is absolutely terrible. The 10 is fantastic. We got twins again. So we're able to get 2 more of our population and added to our population, which is slowly dwindling here. So hopefully that will boost our ranks. I'm going to go ahead and put them into our logbook, and we're going to continue. Now we have the ability to make some stuff. Like I said, I was going to go ahead and use that last endeavor to create some leather, which is right here. Spend any number of hide to add any equal number of leather strange resources to the settlement storage. And we've got a lot of hide to do that with. We have 5 hides, so we're going to turn all of these into leather. So I've gone ahead and wrote our 5 leather right here. Before we do that, I am actually going to turn this tail feather and this anything, which could be a hide. We're going to turn those 2 also into leather, giving us a total of 7. So with those 7 leather, 6 organs, and 6 bone, we are going to go ahead and use our 2 iron and the other iron that we brought back from our settlement to go ahead and give ourselves 3 iron. This is going to allow us to be able to make almost the rest of our set. I'm going to go ahead and make our lantern mail. We're going to go ahead and make our lantern helm, and we're also going to make our lantern greaves. I can make all 3 of these. They each cost 1 iron, and 1 costs 5 leather, 1 costs 5 organs, and the other one costs, oh, it's 6 organs. No, 5 organs, I lied. And the other one costs 7 bone. So I'm going to use all 6 of these plus this bone right here. So we've gone ahead and used all our bones. We have 1 organ left, and we have 2 leather left. There we go. And we've made these 3 things. Of course, we don't have our iron anymore either. It is gone. But we have almost an entire set of this lantern gear. After making all of that stuff, we're able to get rid of pretty much everything that this person has except for her leather cuirass or cuirass. We're going to go ahead instead. We're going to make 1 more of these because that means we're going to have a guy with full set of leather gear along with almost another full set of that lantern gear. Because if I don't, but sadly she has to keep this because she has nothing else to wear on her chest. So we're going to go ahead and remove a bone, because in order to make our leather cuirass, we need a bone and a leather. So I'm just going to get rid of our flat tooth. Actually, I'm just going to get rid of the flat tooth right here. I don't have to worry about it. Flat tooth, and I'm going to get rid of another leather, leaving us only 1 leather, but we now have another one of these. So we have 2 leather cuirasses. Some of the things I'm going to make is, of course, I'm going to turn one of my fresh acanthus into a dried acanthus. I don't see why not. And that's, I think, all we're going to do. I have all these extra resources. I'm not exactly sure what to do with them. If you have any comments about what I should do, please leave them below. I would love to hear from everybody about what you think I should be making. I've got like absolutely an astronomical amount of bones and organs. Now, I could make a lot of monster grease, which a lot of people have been telling me is a way to go with making characters, but I've just been having so much fun creating this armor that I don't know if I want to just ditch it all to put all this monster grease on. But who knows? Maybe that is the best solution. Maybe I should go ahead and think about that. When I come back from the next fight, I think we might actually go that route if I still have all these resources plus more. Now, I'm not exactly sure what we're going to fight next. We'll have to think about it, and as we decide what we're going to put on our characters, maybe that will make me understand what I should go for. Our first survivor we're going to look at is Fendrin. He was in our last video. He had a few things go wrong with him. One, he is traumatized and he has a broken leg. But he's going to continue on using the screaming gear. And when I actually did the age milestone, I forgot to give him a proficiency. We're going to give him spear because he is using the Lance of Longinus, which is a spear, so that's going to be awesome. Now, of course, since he is traumatized, I am going to have to abide by this. Whenever you end your act adjacent to a monster, you are knocked down. So hopefully he doesn't end adjacent because, of course, he has the lance that can at least attack 2 range. So I think it'll be okay. Of course, only 4 speed. We'll see if this 4 movement, is going to be a detriment, but hopefully not. He's all set to go. I also did him first because I did want to say that after I looked through everything else in the end of the settlement, I did decide to buy 1 more bone pick. So we have 2 bone pickaxes so that we can go mining twice because I want to get that iron. Iron seems so good right now, especially to make that gear. I need 1 more iron. Then we can make a full set of that lantern gear. That'll be awesome. All right, that's the end of him. We're going to move on to our next fighter. The rest of our fighters are probably all going to be pretty new. This is Ariana. She's going to go ahead and grab basically the lantern gear now. It used to be our leather gear, but now it's the lantern gear. We are still rocking that leather cuirass as well, but she's going to grab all that. Now, of course, we do have our monster grease, but I'm not getting the extra evasion because I don't have 3 green ones locked. If I bought more monster grease, I could probably do that, but then I'd have to get rid of a lot of the extra armor, and I'm really digging the armor, so we're just going to go with that. I know it's killing people out there that I'm not buying all this monster grease and make myself an evasion tank, but we're going to try it this way. Hopefully it goes well for us. We have a +2 accuracy when we attack with clubs, and of course our whistling mace is a club weapon, so that's going to help us be able to hit. I've gone ahead and put all of our armor over here. She is a newer survivor, so she has 1 brain damage, but she does get the 7 survival. That's the end of her. We're going to move on to our next fighter. Our next new fighter is going to be Kalida. She's going to go ahead and join us. She is rocking the white lion gear, and nothing's really changed except for one thing. I've gone ahead and added a bone dagger here. The reason why is because we lost that cat fang knife, so we don't really have anything. I'm going to use the beast knuckles, but they don't link enough to give me some of the extra red gear stuff that I could get from my affinities. So I wanted to link these two to get my +1 movement. In order to do that, the only thing I could find really was a bone dagger. So she grabbed that bone dagger. She's not actually going to be using it. She's probably going to be using the guitars more than anything. Now, she also has a monster tooth necklace now that is going to get the +1 strength because of the 2 locked infinities. I wanted to make sure we got both of those locked, and the only way to do it, of course, was the bone dagger. I've given her 7 survival and all of her armor. She's good to go. Let's move on. Our final fighter is going to be Hawk, again, a new fighter. He's going to go ahead and rock a leather gear set. He took the entire leather gear set. That's going to be awesome. Now, what I've given him is he does have this arc bow, which is pretty sweet. I've also given the clawhead arrow, and then he also has the other bone pick. I've gone ahead and added a lot of things to him. He does get +2 survival for departing and +2 insanity when departing as well. Now, sadly, this arc bow right here is pretty awesome. If I'm able to link red, green, and blue, I can get a +2 range. Now, the problem is this red and this green have to be the 2 that are linked in order to do it. Otherwise, I could probably do it because I could link this blue right here, green right here, red right here, but that's not going to work. The ones with the puzzle pieces mean that this gear itself has to be the one that is linking. And I don't have any other red on this side that I can use except for a monster tooth necklace. So maybe in the future I might want to buy one and I can give it to him and I can maybe link all these together and give him +2 range. Would be pretty sweet. So we're going to go ahead and add an extra 2 survival and insanity here, giving him 9 survival and 3 insanity. With our characters all equipped and ready to go, we have to decide we're going to fight. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to go after that Beast of Sorrow again. Now, I've fought it once, but I did get the event again that allows me to go ahead and hunt it again. So I believe we can do it again. So we're going to go ahead and see if we can take that cat out and get that rare item back so I can go ahead and make that dagger again. That dagger was so good. So I want to get a hold of that dagger one more time. So that is what we're going to fight. Let's go ahead and set up our hunt track. Here's our hunt board all set up and ready to go. We're going to go ahead and take our events for our white lion here, give them a good old truffle shuffle, and we're going to place them down where they go. Now, of course, we're going to be fighting a level 3 white lion, so it's actually going to start way back here. So I'm going to have to place all these out just in case we make it all the way there. Now, of course, there are some events that could maybe bring the thing to us, but we'll see how that goes. Maybe we'll get lucky. Otherwise, we're going to have to travel all the way down this entire thing just to find him. So all the ones I've laid out are his. Now, of course, there are 3 left over. We don't know what those are. We're going to put those back in the box, and the rest of these are going to become just regular hunt events. I also have the ability to put down a herb gathering and mineral gathering hunt event as well, and if I put them past the overwhelming darkness, we can have some really cool things happening. So I'm actually going to put the mineral gathering, or the hunt, that one there, but the mineral gathering one, all I'm looking for is iron. And I know there's some really neat paths you can take if you go past the overwhelming darkness, but I just really want to roll and hopefully gain some iron. That's really what I'm hoping for. So I'm actually going to put it here because I'd hate for one of these to bring my lion all the way this way and not have a chance at iron. We really need to get some iron. I need at least 2 to finish off that gear set. So I'm hoping we can find a couple in that event right there. Our characters are out on the hunt board and we're ready to go. I haven't had a chance to build up the lantern armor yet, but I'm going to hopefully get it done before we do our fight with the lion. We're going to go to our first event, which first is going to be that mineral gathering event. So we're going to go ahead and roll our mineral gathering and see what we get. We're going to go ahead and see how our 2 pickaxes do. I'm going to have one of these be Fendrin and the other one be Hawk. Let's go ahead and roll them up and see what we get. We got a 6 and a 4. So we're going to go ahead and see what happens. Fendrin was able to find a broken lantern basic resource, but look at this, he suffers 2 hits to a random hit location. So we're going to see what kind of damage he takes. We're going to roll right here on the book. 2 to the body. Oh, that's going to be terrible. So I'm going to go ahead and drop his body down to a 3. Now, if we go ahead and look at our other character, Hawk has found 1 iron strange resource, which is exactly what we need among the unyielding stone faces. As you free it, roll a d6 on a 6+, you're a snap. Archive your pickaxe in a gear grid. All right, let's see what we get. We got a 2, so we do not have to archive our pickaxe. We found an iron, and we also found a basic lantern strange resource. I'm going to go ahead and put these with the characters, and we're going to continue on with our hunt phase. One thing I forgot to do is say who is actually going to be doing the events, and since we've only done the minerals so far, it's not the end of the world. I'm going to go ahead and have Hawk. Hawk's going to go ahead and do our first event. Let's see what he has found. He has found Lion in Heat. The darkness is filled with unearthly screeching and howling. Huddled together, the survivors close their eyes, but cannot sleep. All survivors suffer 1 brain event damage. All right, that's going to drop a lot of people down to 0 sanity. Sorry, everybody's going to be at 0 except for Hawk and also Fendrin. Fendrin is going to be at 8 and Hawk is going to be down to 2. So that's our first event. We're going to move our characters up. He's already done one, so we're going to put him in the back. We're going to see who's going to go next. I think we're going to go ahead and have Kalidia. Go ahead and check out the next hunt event. Let's see what we have found. We have found marked territory. White Lion has marked this area. If any survivor has 3+ understanding, they realize the area is covered in ammonia. They have not innovated it. They are going to gain ammonia. Well, either way, it doesn't matter. Whether I have the understanding or not, I already have ammonia. I am now going to go ahead and roll on a random hunt table. So we're going to take our 2 die. The white is going to be our 10s die. Let's go ahead and roll it up. We got a 34. We have found crippling misery. I'm sure this is going to be absolutely fantastic. Each survivor rolls a d10. The lowest scoring survivor or survivors in case of a tie become a straggler. If any survivor or survivors has the anxiety disorder, they are stragglers. Do not roll. The straggler is lost in a moment of profound self-doubt. They slip, not having the will to catch themselves, and tumble off a steep hill of stone faces. They land awkwardly with a crunch, suffering the broken leg, severe injury. Sobbing to themselves, they come to grips with just how terrible their life is and gain +1 understanding. If the straggler has the binge eating disorder, they wipe away their tears and reach out to a nearby critter, instinctively cramming it into their mouth for comfort. Draw a random vermin resource and consume it. So we don't have anybody with the binge eating disorder or the anxiety disorder. So we do have to roll to see who is the straggler. We're going to roll right here, starting with the top character up here, 10. Our second character, oh no, a 1. That's going to be terrible. We got a 6. And then our final character got an 8. All right, so this guy suffered a broken inner leg, severe injury, and he has also gained 1 understanding. Sadly, this is the worst thing that could have happened. He already has a broken leg. You can suffer it twice, so he has now suffered his 2nd broken leg, meaning that his movement is going to be brought down to a 3. Oh, that's just terrible. And he gains a bleeding token, which isn't going to pertain because it's not part of the actual showdown. If it happened during the showdown, you'd get it, but I don't believe we get them during the hunt phase or the actual camping phase, the settlement phase, so that's not going to play into effect. He doesn't have binge eating, he doesn't have anxiety, so he is going to gain 1 understanding, which is going to help him reach a milestone. So we're going to go ahead and grab a milestone. I believe we're going to be getting Explore, which adds +2 to your investigation rolls when you're on the hunt table. And like I said before, he's down to 3 movement. Absolutely terrible. Also, his survival should be at 8, not 9. During the hunt phase, our insight is going to be epiphany. You dream before you, toiling silently, a strange creature with the imprint of a human face sculpts stone faces into the ground. You meet its concave gaze and wake. Gain the following ability and roll on the table below. Explorer. When you roll to investigate, add +2 to your roll. And we're going to go ahead and gain an ability here as well. So let's go ahead and roll and see what we got. We get a 9. A 9 is going to be +1 permanent accuracy. So Fendrin not only can't move very fast, but he gets +1 accuracy, which is going to bring his accuracy up to 2, which is pretty good. But of course, with only that 3 movement, I kind of wish he was the guy with the bow right now. We completed that hunt event. We're going to move up. Now this is going to be just a basic hunt event, so we're going to go ahead and roll our dice. The white one, of course, is going to be our 10s die, and we got a 16. We are having night terrors. Your miserable sleep is plagued with mind-bending nightmares. Each survivor rolls a d10. If the result is greater than their insanity, they learn something from the waking horror and gain +1 understanding. Otherwise, they gain 1 random disorder. If any survivor is a savior, has extra sense fighting art, they disappear into the dream, emerging from the darkness hours later with 4 hunt XP and a basic random resource. Well, sadly, I don't think we have extra sense, and we didn't bring our survivor or savior with us. And we don't have a lot of insanity, so this could be something else. Back to rolling our dice. We're going to start up here. We got a 7. Next, we're going to roll right here. We got a 10. Then we're going to roll this next person here is a 6. And of course, Hawk is our last character with an 8. So if any of these numbers are larger than our insanity, we're going to gain an understanding. And actually, to tell you the truth, they're all bigger than our insanity. According to our night terrors here, it says, roll a d10. If the result is greater than their insanity, which it is, they're all going to gain 1 understanding. With that complete, we're going to go ahead and move our characters up and move into the next set of our hunt event, which is going to be just a basic one. So let's go ahead and roll it up. We got a 96. We have found a Cloaked Stranger. Now, sadly, I totally forgot that I should have said who was doing the hunt events. I totally forgot to do the last couple ones. So we're just going to say that this is Arna. She's going to be the one that's found the Cloaked Stranger. It says a cloaked form steps out from a patch of darkness ahead of the survivors. Its ill-fitting garment shifts atop its form, and its trudging leaves dark black puddles in the mouths of the rain-slick stones on the ground. The event revealer approaches the stranger and rolls a d10. Let's see what has befallen our wonderful survivor here. We have gotten a 4. 4 states, the stranger ripples in and out of focus as you approach. Then you reach them. They are gone. Their form impossible to remember. Gain 1 bleeding token and forget 1 fighting art of your choice. All right, with this rule right here, I believe I was wrong. I believe you do carry your bleeding tokens into the actual showdown. If I'm wrong, please let me know in the comments below, but I'm going to give them the bleeding tokens that I believe they should have had. 1 for the broken leg and 1 for this event. Also, I don't have any fighting arts, so I'm not too worried about that. I am going to gain a bleeding token on her. So there you go. They both get 1 bleeding token. Continuing our hunt, we're going to move up 1 square, and we're going to go ahead and have the guy who lost his arm, Hawk. You get to go ahead and flip this over and see what you have found. You have found scratching grounds. Claw marks scar the ground. The survivors may choose to investigate. Each survivor that investigates gains +1 courage and rolls on the table below. Oh, why not? Let's go ahead. We're going to have some of these people do it. Let's have them all do it. What the heck? We can't all die from this, can we? All right, we're going to have them all roll and see what they get. We're going to start up here on top. A 7, a 6, we got a 3, and the last one is a 7. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look. First off, everybody is going to gain 1 courage. Then we've got no 1 through, we got 1 through 3. Sifting through the rubble, a shifting stone crushes the survivor's hand. The survivor suffers 1 event damage to the arm location. That's okay. Do we get a 9 through 10s? Nobody rolled a 9 through 10, so nothing else happens. So the only thing that happens is everybody gained a courage, and we suffered 1 event damage to, who is that? Arna's hands. So that brings her hand location down to 5 armor. But we do all get that 1 courage. Now that's not going to leave anybody gaining a milestone in that, so we'll just continue on and move our characters up. And we're going to be heading into overwhelming darkness. We have to choose our paths. We have 4 survivors inside the overwhelming darkness. Now, nobody has +3 courage, so nobody gets to walk the path of the brave. So instead, we have to walk, 1 has to walk the path of the insane. And that is going to be Fendrin. He's going to go ahead and do that. Let's see what he gets. He gets a 9. A huge eye stares at you from the darkness. It scares you sane. Set your insanity to 1. Gain the post-traumatic stress disorder. Sweetness. All right, I'm going to go put this next to him so I can remember to do that. The rest of the 3 have to roll on the path of the doomed. We're going to go ahead and start with Ariana because she's been having a fantastic hunt so far. Oh, she got a 10. Resolute. Gained +1 insanity and +1 courage. That's awesome. I'm going to go put that next to her. We're going to continue on. We'll go with Hawk next. Hawk got a 6. You choke on the atmosphere. It leaves you sick and unbalanced. Lose monster level survival and gain a -1 evasion token. That's terrible. All right, we're going to go ahead and give that to him. And we're going to roll our last survivor. This is going to be Kalidia. Let's see what she gets. A 7+, the same thing. She gets a -1 evasion token. So let's go ahead and take care of all of that. Hawk and Kalidia both have lost 4 survival, because remember, the Beast of Sorrow is actually a level 4 monster when it comes to figuring out different things for him. Also, they are going to gain a -1 evasion token, both of them. Ariana is back up to 1 insanity, and she has gained a courage. I've gone ahead and set his insanity back to 1, and he also gains the post-traumatic stress disorder, which states, the last hunt was harrowing. All you can do is cower and relive the trauma. Only time can heal your wounds. Next settlement phase, you do not contribute or participate in any endeavors, and I have to skip the next hunt to recover. All right, we're going to go ahead and put down skip the next hunt on that, and I guess he's ready to go. He's got broken legs. I'm going to ×2 on that. He doesn't have any more legs unless it's a spider. So that's about all we got for him. He's the last person who went, so we have our 3 characters left to go. Why don't we go ahead and have Ariana go ahead and do the next hunt event. Let's see what she has found. Oh, this is our mineral gathering one. All right, we're going to go ahead and roll some dice to see what happens. I meant to say herb gathering instead of mineral gathering. Of course, we've already done our mineral gathering. So we're going to go ahead and roll some dice for this herb gathering. We've seen the book enough to know what exactly is going on here. I get to choose an amount of dice that I want to roll for my herb gathering. And if I get a double in the amount of dice I rolled, then I don't get any of the numbers. If all these numbers are different, I get to add them all up. And once we get through 4 different rolls, we get to add our score up and see what happens. Now, of course, since we are past the overwhelming darkness, we're going to be able to add 10 to whatever roll we have. So I'm going to go ahead and roll 4 dice first and see how it goes. We got a 1, a 1, a 3, and an 8. So since these 2 are doubles, I get nothing from this, which is absolutely terrible. So we're going to go ahead and try 4 more and see what we get here. We got a 10, a 7, a 3, and a 2. So that's going to be 22. So right now we're at 22. Let's go ahead. I think we're going to roll 4 more again and see how it goes. This time we got 2 2s, so nothing. Oh, that's terrible. So right now, all we're at is 22, which really isn't going to get us too much, but I'm going to go for a broke here and see what happens. I'm going to roll a whole ton of dice here. We're going to roll like 6. Let's roll 6. What's the chance to get a doubles on 6 dice? Well, what do you know? Not very good. I can't believe it. Oh, no, there's 2 2s right there. Oh, that's sad. We have 2 2s, so that means we didn't get anything. So most we got was 22. Let's go ahead and consult the book and see what we get. We managed to find a fresh acanthus, and all of our survivors are going to gain +1 survival. Also, because we did herb gathering, our herb gathering card itself does say the survivors consume herbs and berries. All survivors gain +1 survival. So we gain +2 survival and a fresh acanthus. After completing our herb gathering, we're going to continue on. Now, of course, we still have to roll for a random hunt event, and let's see what we get. We got 66. We have learned the forbidden word. There's a great rush of air. A booming, inhuman voice declares a single word of an unknown language. For 1 instant, the survivor understand. All non-deaf survivors gain +1 understanding and suffer 1 brain event damage. If they're insane, they also get a random disorder. Yes! Oh, man. Fernandin is going to be totally disordered by the time we're done with this thing. And with that understanding, all of our new recruits, Hawk, Kalidia, and also Arana, have gained their age event, their insight event. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Here it is right here. It's our epiphany. We're going to go ahead and roll right here. Of course, they are all going to become explorers. We're going to go ahead and start with Ariana first. Let's see what she gets. She gets a 7, which means she gets to gain 3 survival and 3 insanity. That brings her character up to 3 insanity and her max at 10 survival. All right, we're going to go ahead and move into, let's see, let's do Hawk next. Hawk's going to be next. Let's see how he does. He got a 7. He gets the same thing, 3 insanity and 3 survival. So that's going to bring Hawk up to 10 survival, and he now has 4 insanity. Of course, he also has a -1 evasion token. Awesome. Last but not least, we got Kalidia. Let's see what she gets. She got a 2. That's not going to be any good. What does it say? Reroll 1 hunt event result for this hunt phase. All right, so that's only going to help her for this hunt, but that's okay. We completed that hunt event, so we're going to move on up. And I'm going to have, what's her name, Kalidia, go ahead and do it next because she gets to reroll anyway. Maybe this will be something she can reroll. And she has found White Lion Cub. The survivors find a White Lion Cub. They may choose to slay the cub. If they do, each survivor gains 1 random basic resource and resource. Their event revealer rolls on the table below. This is going to be perfect. Right, the father shows up to start the showdown. That's not what we want. We actually want 4 through 7. That's what we really want to get here. So we're going to go ahead and first, each survivor gains 1 random basic resource, and the event revealer rolls on this. So let's go ahead and get our basic resources, give them a good old truffle shuffle here, and see what we're able to find from this Lion Cub. Sorry, Mr. Lion Cub, but the greater good. 1, 2, 3, and 4. There we go. Those are our 4 random basic resources. Let's see what we were able to discover. We found a question mark, one of my favorites. Oh, 2 question marks. Some love juice. Oh, we've never seen this. It's an organ consumable. During the settlement phase, you may archive this to intimacy. Nominated 2 survivors must be able to consume. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Oh, my luck's changing here. And we got a monster hide. So those are probably the best resources I could have possibly got. Oh, I'm so glad we destroyed that cub. Sorry, Mr. Cub. Now we're going to go ahead and roll on this. So I'm going to go ahead and have her roll, and she can add 2 to this if she wants, which makes it a 3, which would be terrible. So I am going to have her use her reroll that she got from being able to hit that insight milestone. And we got a lantern 10, so that's actually a 12, which means nothing happens. Oh, that's too bad. All right, so this goes away. We sadly do not get to start the fight. I wouldn't mind having the fight start right now, but we're going to continue on down the road. So we're going to have this guy with the spear. He's going to go ahead, he's super insane. Oh, I have to give him a disorder. I totally forgot to randomly pick a disorder for him because of that event that we had last time. So let's go ahead again and take our disorder deck here and give it a good old truffle shuffle and see what we happen to our wonderful spearman. Hopefully, well, he can only have a maximum of 3. Here's his 3rd one. Corporelia. All your gear is noisy. You are always a threat unless you are knocked down, even if an effect says otherwise. Awesome. All right, I'm going to go ahead and write that on his card. And then he's going to go ahead and reveal this event. Let's see what it is. It is Sea of Golden Grass. Fields of golden grass lay ahead. The event revealer may choose to avoid the plains and roll twice on the hunt event table. Spoiler alert, we're not doing that. Before moving on the hunt event board. Otherwise, each survivor gains +1 courage, and the event revealer rolls on the table below. All right, let's go ahead and give everybody their courage. The courage gives Ariana her first courage milestone of bold, but I'm just going to quickly roll on this real quick since we're sitting right here. And we got a 4. So let's go ahead and read what it says. It says, the survivors circle the tall grass, lost. Roll on the hunt event table before moving on the hunt board. Now, sad. All right. That's too bad. We're going to go ahead and have to roll on that. Again, we're going to do that real quick before we do our bold event. We got a 37. We haven't seen too many bold events because, well, I guess our characters never really been that courageous. Or I guess they get pretty understanding a lot, but they don't get very courageous. Expect the unexpected. We're going to go ahead and read Triumph. You are prepared to face any mind-bending trials at a moment's notice. Where others have falter, you forge ahead, meeting the journey head-on. Gain the following ability and roll on the table below. So this character is going to have prepared. When rolling to determine a straggler, add your hunt experience to the roll result. Fantastic. Right now that's 0. Hopefully she gets some more. Now we're going to go ahead, of course, and roll down here and see if we get anything good. We got a, rolled it off the book. We got a, rolled it off the book. Stay on the book. A 9. We gain 1 permanent strength. That'll be awesome. Well, this is the shortest event ever and the worst event I could possibly think of. It says 37, lost. The survivors are hopelessly lost in the unbroken darkness. Move the survivors 2 spaces back in the hunt board. Barf. So that was this hunt event. So we're going to go 1, 2 back here, and we can again choose who we want to go first. This is ridiculous. We're going to have him go. No, actually, I'm going to have her go because she can re-roll. Oh, she can't re-roll anymore. Oh, that's too bad. But they all get +2, I guess, so that's not too bad. Yeah, we'll have him go. He's new. He's a rookie. Let's have him do it. All right, we're going to roll these dice, see what happens. We got an 85. We found a test of courage. Who knows? We might have enough courage to do this. Well, we got some from doing all these other events. Lava flows from the eyes of a huge, grimacing stone face. Its gritted teeth hold a worn sword. If there are any survivors with 6+ courage, nobody has that. Choose 1 to brave the lava. They gain the Adventurer Sword rare gear. Oh, that thing's so good. I remember having it at the beginning of the campaign. If no one can test their mettle, the group moves on with a feeling of inadequacy. If the settlement already has an Adventure Sword, which we don't, and storytelling, which we don't, well, I think we might. We don't have the Adventure Sword, so none of this other stuff is going to pertain. Sad. We're going to move all our characters up, and good news, bad news, nothing bad happened. All right, we're going to go ahead and have Ariana go next, and she's going to roll up a couple dice and see what she has found. 78. We have found a dead great game hunter. The survivors find a corpse dressed in brightly colored clothing, clutching something to its chest. The event revealer may investigate. If they do, they gain +1 courage and roll a d10. If any survivor has a whip, they lash the corpse from afar. Add +4 to your roll. Oh, I don't have a whip anymore. Otherwise, roll again on the hunt event table before moving on the hunt board. We're totally going to investigate. This is going to be awesome. So Ariana is up to 4 courage now, which is pretty sweet. We're going to go ahead and attempt to roll a die right here. Let's see how this goes. We got a 9. Let's go ahead and read what that says. His hands are empty. If the settlement has cannibalized, gain 1 random basic resource. If the settlement has graves, gain an understanding. So she's up to 4 understanding and 4 courage. Well, if there's one thing I want to say about these events that we've been having, we're gaining a lot of these cool abilities. Let's move all of our survivors up, and we only have 1 more to go, hopefully. Do we send the crazed guy in there? No, I don't think we do. We're going to go ahead and send her in. Let's see what happens. We're going to roll our dice and see what event we get. We got a 51. We have found refugees. The survivors encounter a group of fleeing settlers. If the settlement has symposium and language, the survivors manage to crudely communicate. The survivors may offer a resource or gear to help the distressed refugees. If they do, archive the offering. The refugees frantically share their mournful tale. While much is lost in translation, they relate the savage invasion of a monster that destroyed their home. The tale prepares the survivors for what lies ahead. At the start of the showdown, reveal the top 5 AI cards. If the AI card deck and put them back in any order. If any survivor has the leader fighting art, one of the settlers is drawn to their charisma. Gain +1 population. I only have, I've got a fresh acanthus I could give up. And we could look at the top 5 AI cards of the deck. That's not too bad. At least we'll know exactly what he's going to do the first turn. If anything, that's a huge bonus. Now, I don't have a leader, so we're just going to go ahead and do that. So I'm going to archive our fresh acanthus and be able to look at the top 5 cards of this deck. That'll be awesome. We're then going to go ahead and move our characters up to the fight with our giant lion. Now, this is going to be the Beast of Sorrow. So he might be a little bit easier or harder than a level 3 white lion. We'll find out in the next video. I'm going to go ahead and set up the fight, and we're going to have a blast. I'm super excited for this. Now, of course, all 4 of our guys made it, which is great. And we got some courage, and we got a lot of understanding going through our hunts, which was really neat. Even going back 2 squares didn't actually do too much to us, which is pretty awesome. We get to look at the top 5 cards of that AI deck. Oh, that's so good. Now, I do have a few bleeding tokens, and I took a little bit of damage coming into this fight, but I think we're going to be okay. Well, of course, only time will tell when it comes to fighting a lion. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell symbol so you know when the fight with the Beast of Sorrow comes out. I'm excited to do this one. I love fighting the white lion. We haven't gotten back to the white lion in a while. We also haven't fought the phoenix in a while either, but I really have a tough time fighting the phoenix. I know a lot of the cards have to do with your hunt XP, and not a lot of our guys survive long enough to have a lot of hunt XP. So we're going to continue on. We're going to fight this white lion. I also want any of you to leave anything in the comments below. I would love to hear from everybody. Of course, this is just a great community. I hear so many awesome things when I do this game. I'm excited to hear what everybody has to say. Now, one thing I wasn't sure about, of course, is those bleeding tokens. I believe I carry them over from the hunt to the showdown. If I don't, please, of course, tell me in the comments below. I would like to know that. Thanks, as always, for watching, and if you're excited to see if our characters can take on the Beast of Sorrow, then I need you to meet me at the table.